Yeah. Fly was flying on the team. Touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a bird game nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man saw Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randolph. Season here, early time to do them in. Your boy Philly Fresco. Thanks for tuning in.
What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, and I'm here as always with my guy Brandon. It is Philly the podcast. So before we get into today's episode, I just want to make sure you guys are reminded, hit that like button, share it with a friend, subscribe, do all that. We do have the mock draft contest. Going to be probably doing it this Sunday, so be sure to join the Discord, send in your personal mock draft, and have a chance to win. Now, what are we all here for? We are all here for the 49ers draft pick, and I had to go get a specialist. You know what I'm saying? We make sure we go get the right drafts for the team. So we got my guy John with us, man. How's it going, brother?
Man, this is the best time of the year, right? Because this is the time period where teams stop like bickering against each other teams, and now we bicker with ourselves. So it's in like the family counseling stage of, hell no, you got to draft this guy. What are you talking about? No, we've got to trade for this guy. So it's awesome. It reminds me of growing up in a crazy home and just arguing all the damn time. So it's draft season, baby, and I love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, it feels good, man. Me and Brandon are that family. We're literally the family on YouTube that just argues all day about what we should do. So now I definitely feel you. And Philly in general can probably feel you because we have been going crazy lately. So before we get too deep into this, draft talk and everything, let's talk about your channel, man. Let them know where they can find you and what you do over there, man.
Man, so the draft is where I got my start. Former high school football coach down in Texas. Absolutely loved coaching. Had to get out of it. We got some kiddos and all that fun stuff. So I had to channel my energy to football somehow or another. So I started with the draft and just breaking down prospect film coming out of college. And so if you head over to my YouTube channel, just 49ers Rush, you're going to see it, or you can type in John Chapman. And man, draft is my thing. I love the 49ers, but draft film is everything. We got a Patreon page, 49ers Rush Podcast, over 250 hours of just draft college film broke down of the top prospects. So if you want to check that out, head over there, and on Twitter at JL_Chapman. I know I'm a 49ers guy, but I got no beef with Philly, man. No beef whatsoever.
Hey, we actually beat you guys this year, so I'm cool with y'all. You know what I mean?
Talk about a low point, brother. Talk about a low point.
Hey, it's been both. It's been for both of us. So let's talk a little bit about this season. Obviously, the Eagles are going through their own turmoil. You guys had a couple, major injuries. Obviously to the quarterback position as well. Got some big decisions coming up. But how do you feel about the season that just passed and what happened with the 49ers?
The season sucked, man. There was no bright spots really. It just injuries, losses, you miss out on all those guys. And it left this bad taste in your mouth because you got so close in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. Amazing 2019 season. And you thought that they would pick up right where they left off. The roster basically returned. And it just left this bad taste in your mouth. And so now with where the 49ers are, there's a huge divide because there's people that are, Jimmy G stans and they believe, he's the heir apparent. Of course, he's gorgeous and all those things. And then there's people that are like, get this guy the hell out of there. Yeah, he's pretty, but he can't throw the ball downfield. And he's missed 23 out of 48 games. You can't be successful with that. So you're really, it's divided down the middle. And, I kind of feel I'm in the middle because I like Jimmy G when he's healthy, but I think you can win with him. But, man, what do? Do you sacrifice all these other positions of need? Because the 49ers have a lot. We have 32 free agents currently that we're missing from last year. And some of them are some big-time guys, Richard Sherman, Trent Williams, Jason Verrett. What do? Do you sacrifice and leave a lot of holes elsewhere to fortify that quarterback position with a high-end QB? Or do you say, let's plug all these other spots. We saw it work in 2019 and just hope Jimmy G stays healthy. So you're kind of stuck there.
I mean, you basically just talked what the Eagles have been going through, where we've been on one side or the other. We need Carson. No, he stinks. Let's get him out of here. Obviously, we know what ended up happening, but this last like a couple weeks of the season, so this offseason so far, has just been fans going at one another. And with Jimmy G still on your team, I can only imagine what the bickering is like. But
so let me ask, from people that have gone through the tunnel, do you feel better in the post Carson Wentz like era? Like, do you feel lighter, or is it just like, oh, I don't know if we made the right move?
I'll answer this real quick, and then Brady, you can ask your question as well. I think we were supposed to. I think me and Brandon can both agree here. We were just ready for it to be over with. It was just like, I'm one of those type of guys. I just like good vibes. Like, Brandon, me and Brandon joke around, and I'm the vibe police. I don't like all the negativity. So it was just so much negativity building around it. Whether you liked them, whether you didn't, it is what it is. At the end of the day, football's a business. So I just didn't like how personal it was getting, I felt like. But, it does it feel better? No, because I feel like we still have Howie, which, so we're probably just going to be right back in this situation. But that's kind of my thoughts. But how do you feel, Brandon?
No, I agree. We thought that once Carson was gone, it would probably be that weight lifted off our shoulders. But instead, now we're bickering about the compensation that we got, about Jalen Hurts is the guy. And there's still talk on, oh, Carson might not get the number he wants. We're still getting dragged into any Carson drama without him being an Eagle anymore. So, like he said, we thought this weight would be lifted off, but I don't think until the season starts and we have a fortified – actually – scratch that, because if Carson plays well and we stink it up, it's going to be talk all over again. So
I felt like, man, they put like a trap for you guys in that trade, because Eagles fans still have to hope Carson stays healthy so that you could get that first round pick. And I was just like, oh, that's cruel. That is so cruel, because it's damned if you do, damned if you don't.
And people aren't reading in between the lines. Like, a lot of Eagles fans, you got to watch the YouTubers. Like me, I'll say I just want him to stay healthy 75% of the year. There's a lot of, we need to make sure he does great. I don't care how he does. Like, he could lose every single game. As long as my man is healthy, I'm cool. Just give me that first round pick. So I hear you, man. It sucks, but go ahead, Brandon. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. So what I was going to ask earlier is that, although it's been a couple seasons now, what are your thoughts on Kyle Shanahan and the direction he's brought the 49ers?
He's incredible. You look over, just his entire tenure, not just with the 49ers, previous with Atlanta, all the way back to Washington, even with Cleveland and Houston, he's had so much success. And so it's easy to say, oh, he's one of the top, signal callers out there. He does have his flaws. I'm very, very happy he's our coach and our play caller. But you look at when games are very, very important, his tendencies change, and he loves to go to the pass, even though the staple of this offense is the running game. You go to the Super Bowl, completely abandoned the running game, even with a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter. You go back to the 28-3 game with the Falcons, completely abandoned the running game, even though you're up, all those things. So he's still learning, and I think that he still has a lot of room to grow. But the culture, the expectations, the locker room, all A pluses. I don't think you can't look at his resume and say, oh, he's a top 5 coach in the NFL. But you look at the coaches, it's pretty damn hard to pick 5 coaches you would rather have over him, if that makes sense. And so the potential and all those things are great. And I mean, it's weird to think we've had 4 out of the 5 seasons we've had him have been losing seasons, but you don't feel that way, because the arrow has pointed up from the start, and the injuries and all the stuff happened last year. I think he gets a mulligan. Now you go out there and you do, a losing season this year. That's where I think the questions happen. But John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, they both are just coming off a 6-year extension. So they're extended. They're not going anywhere, even if they do suck it up this year, which I don't expect. But no, I love it. I again, not a top 5 coach, but I can't pick 5 coaches I'd rather have than him.
It won't be Doug. I'll tell you that much. Doug won't be one. So let me keep on your coaching staff real quick. Obviously, the Jets just got a new head coach coming from the 49ers. How do you feel about losing Robert Saleh? How do you think that's going to affect, your defense, which, you do say it's predicated on the run game, but I feel like your defense is just as, if not more important than, your run game. So how do you think that's going to affect it?
We don't know. First off, with Robert Saleh, I like him a lot. What's your job in a head coach? There's different types. You have Kyle Shanahan, who's a head coach, but the offensive coordinator, play caller, installer, all those things. Robert Saleh is none of those things. He's already said hands off on the defense. He is just going to be kind of like a John Harbaugh, with the Ravens. He's going to be a CEO head coach, and I think that's his strength because he struggled. In-game adjustments, oh my gosh. For 49ers fans and Robert Saleh, it's love and hate because we love him, but we went through all the bumps of a signal caller on the defense. He never made a first half adjustment. He couldn't do it. And so that was problematic. So I'm happy that he's gone, especially this year, because, the 49ers get 2 third-round picks because of the minority hire as head coach. So that was really, really nice. Best time ever to lose the defensive coordinator. But I'm rooting for him. A hell of a man, great locker room presence. You'll never find anybody say anything negative about his personality or the culture he brings. I think he'll be successful with New York because he's got so much capital. It's going to take some time, but he got a 5-year deal, which is important nowadays. So he's not going to be one of those one-and-done coaches no matter what. Now, if you look at the 49ers, post-Saleh era, you get DeMeco Ryans. We all know who he is. You guys, we all know who he is. He's amazing. But he's never called a defense, and now he's a DC. He's only been a position coach. But everybody loves him. Crazy high energy, been in the system, pretty excited. He's surrounded by some veteran coaches. Chris Kusarik, our defensive line coach, is going to be very, very key in helping make sure that the defense stays the same. And you've got so many key pieces. He's a linebackers coach. He's got Fred Warner, who just came off an all-pro season. You got Drake Greenlaw, is going to be a third-year linebacker who's been absolutely elite, one of the most under-recognized players in the NFL. Again, there's just a lot of talent there, so I don't expect the defense to really take a step back. They were, top 8 last year, even with all those injuries, so we'll have to see what happens. And once we get into the draft, I think defense is going to be the main focus as well.
Yeah. I think you really kind of blew my mind a little bit when you told me how many free agents you guys have, because I know we're struggling on our side because we have no money for free agents, but that's a lot of free agents. I think you said, 35 or something like that? Yeah,
we've signed a couple of the low-end guys to some minimum year deals and kind of low salary, but, man, we've got some big guys. So 32, I think, is what the number is at currently, but there's no way they're bringing them all back.
So who would you, I guess, name like top 3 players that you would want to retain for next season? Or
top 3 players. Number 1 is in a tier by himself, Trent Williams, left tackle. The 49ers got a steal, and it's kind of like Martha Stewart and insider trading. We got pretty damn lucky because they wanted to trade Trent Williams to the Minnesota Vikings for a 2nd-round pick, and Trent Williams said, hell no, I'm not going there. Trade me to Kyle. And they were on the clock. The deal was in place, and basically Trent Williams threw a fit because he wanted to play with Kyle Shanahan. And the 49ers got him for a 5th-round pick and a 3rd the following year, which would be 2021. So he's number 1. He had the 3rd most votes on the AP team. He's incredible. He is 32, and he's going to be getting about $20 million a year. So he's going to be pricey, but you got to shore up that left tackle position. It is premium. After that, Jason Verrett, who's 3 years out of the league, finally came back and balled out this year. When him and Richard Sherman were on the field, he was playing better than Richard Sherman. I don't think he's better, career-wise, but this past year, 2020, there's no doubt about it. He was locking people down. So bring him back. Kyle Juszczyk, our fullback, kind of the Swiss Army knife. Those are kind of the top 3 guys that, man, I really hope we find a way to bring back.
I forgot you guys had Kyle. I like Kyle, especially in Madden. He's very useful in Madden.
And he's coming off his best year ever.
Too much.
No way, man. Yeah. Madden is my babysitter growing up, and it's turned me into the man I am.
I like to hear that. So let's keep on like a little bit of signings and free agency and bring it a little bit back to the Eagles. Where were you personally, like on the – because I know the 49ers had a little bit of interest from what media says in Carson Wentz. Where were you personally on that? Did you want Carson? Were you kind of okay on it?
I feel like Jimmy Garoppolo and Carson Wentz are long-lost brothers. And the fact that, man, when they're hitting all cylinders and they're protected and everything is going well, they're the best of the bunch. Whatever you give them, they're going to take. But the other way, injuries. Good gosh. Can you find 2 more players? And I don't want to use the word injury prone because I don't think that's a thing. Jadeveon Clowney dives at the back of your damn head, head first. That's not on Carson Wentz. That's not injury prone. You're a damn human being. It's going to happen. Right. But both of these guys are in the same situation. You put them both together, you don't even get a full season half the time. And so I think for the 49ers, I don't think it was a good move. And plus, I don't think there was any way we were giving up the draft compensation that Frank Reich was willing to. So I like Carson Wentz. His ceiling is still bananas. And I think going to the Colts with one of the best offensive lines in the NFL is a great fit. I don't think that fit would have taken place in the 49ers. The 49ers led the NFL in quarterback hits last year. So not a good place for Carson Wentz.
I kind of wanted to see him in 49. I'm not going to lie. I just wanted one of your linebackers. That's really the only reason why.
Who would you want? So let's back it up. Let's do some 49ers and GM moves. Who, if you were proposing a trade to the 49ers, what would you have asked for?
Any of your linebackers. Honestly, any of your linebackers at this point. Like, I'm not even and draft capital. I was on the team that we should probably not get players back in the Carson Wentz deal just because we need. If we're rebuilding, I don't really want to take on the contracts. But you guys got some young bulls. Like, you guys have drafted very well. So, like, throw me one of your second or third round picks that you don't really need right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have been cool with that. I mean, maybe not so much just because of the contract, but I'm hearing rumors, which I was going to ask you too, with like Richard Sherman possibly not wanting to go back to 49ers. That's something that, he might want to come play with Darius Slay, figure out his contract. Wouldn't have been mad at that, but then you're not really looking at any type of capital, draft capital coming back at all. If anything, you're probably giving it up.
Right. I think you're right about it. And Richard Sherman's interesting. He's his own agent. So there's no reading through the lines and, talk to no, Richard Sherman is a damn window pane because he can't hide anything from anybody. He's 100% transparent, which is a great thing. I love Sherman. But going back through the needs, the first 3 free agents, Trent Williams, that's $20 million. Richard Sherman's never going to take a pay cut for anybody. He's never taken a team-friendly deal. He's so smart. He's so savvy. The guy won't be surprised when he's an NFL GM, in the next 10 to 15 years. He's that damn smart and knows the ins and out of football. But he's not taking a team-friendly deal. And so he's going to go get paid. And I think he's a guy that could wind up in New York with Robert Saleh. And so I wish we could have him back, but the 49ers just don't have money. And so that's kind of the problem. And I think he's going to sign probably a 2-year kind of $17 million deal somewhere. And there's just no way the 49ers could swing that.
Yeah, we don't have money, but that's one of those things. If you trade him, you kind of squeeze him in. You kind of, you put that circle block in the square hole. And you're just like, this is going to work somehow. This is going to work. Yeah, but go ahead, Brandon. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, with free agency and with the draft, outside of the guys that you want to retain on your team, what are some big areas of needs for the 49ers for this coming up season and beyond?
Yeah, they're not really. So I would say the number one need is cornerback. We don't have anybody. Again, sticking with free agents. Richard Sherman's gone. Jason Verrett's a free agent. I think we'll bring him back. Ahkello Witherspoon is a free agent. Our top 4 corners are all gone. So our corner room is bare bones right now. Now, luckily, Emmanuel Mosley's a restricted free agent, meaning he can't, negotiate elsewhere. So we're going to be able to get him back on the cheap. But you look in the draft, you're going to have to draft a corner in the top 3 rounds. That's not even up for debate, perhaps multiple. Edge position, D Ford, he's broken. I don't think he's ever going to play again. His back, he's got neck issues, all kinds of stuff, whatever else. Sad thing for the 49ers, we have an injury guarantee on D Ford. So if he doesn't pass his physical April 1st, we're stuck with $22 million against the cap for a guy that won't even play. And so that hurts. Yeah, exactly. It hurt me saying it. My back tightened up. And so
it wasn't a $22 million tighten up, though. You gotta,
hell no. I'm a full-time teacher, man. So that money, that's a whole nother thing. But
it's just astronomical. That's crazy.
That's right. You look at the 49ers' success back in 2019, that dominant defense. It happened in short spurts when D Ford and Nick Bosa and Eric Armstead were all on the field at the same time. You got to have that speed caliber off the edge. We don't have that. D Ford's never playing again. I'm pretty almost. I bet I put money on it. I hope he gets better. I really do. Awesome guy. Just injuries, just way too much. But one of the things, we have great defensive ends. Again, Nick Bosa is incredible. He's coming back from an ACL. His injury happened early, so he's got to be 100% go. He's already working out really, really well. Eric Armstead on the other side, but no speed rusher. One of the things I will not be surprised of in this draft is if a speed rusher falls or if the 49ers trade back. It's hard to miss that because we saw how dominant this 49ers defense was when they had those three elements on the outside.
I just want to say this, Brandon, before you go. I am Miss Cleo because I'm pretty sure I said earlier, I was like, they're either going cornerback, defensive line. I said defensive line was third for me. I was like, I don't think they will, but that's like a 49ers move.
Yeah.
I was like, that's like a 49er thing. Like, I can see them doing that. So I just had to throw that out there, pat myself on the back. But did you have a question, Brandon?
Oh, no. I mean, outside of needs, what is something that you don't want to see the 49ers do in this draft? Like, what would drive you nuts that you'd be punching the air and just be like, why?
I'd probably say Mac Jones. I think that, we talked about quarterbacks. And I think there's 4 clear quarterbacks. My quarterback rankings thus far, Trevor Lawrence in a tier by himself. Second tier, Zach Wilson tier by himself. I have Trey Lance number 3 and Justin Fields 4. I would love to pair Jimmy Garoppolo with either one of those 4. It's a perfect situation because you ride with Jimmy G, and if he's healthy, he's the guy, and you just sit the rookie quarterback, very similar to Patrick Mahomes and Alex Smith, right? That transition. That's because the 49ers are not a rebuilding team. We're trying to win now. You don't hand the keys to the car over to a rookie quarterback right now. You just don't do that because, again, we were in the Super Bowl just last year. So that would be ideal. Do I like Mac Jones? Yes, but not with that number 12 pick that the 49ers have. If we traded back and then grabbed him, I'd be okay. But, again, our offensive line needs some help. One thing I missed earlier, we need to address center or right guard. That needs to be addressed big time. We have no draft capital or money in those positions. And you bring Mac Jones into this offensive line right now, which is good, not great. Amazing run blocking team, but not pass blocking. Mac Jones isn't going to handle it. So if you're going to do that, you better trade back and get some extra capital to fortify that offensive line. That would bother me the most, going Mac Jones in the first round.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I just started doing my studying on quarterbacks. My audience hates when I talk about quarterbacks because, we do not want to it is like a taboo word on my channel right now. But I've been doing my research, just did a whole video on Zach Wilson. The guy kind of scares me, but I agree with you 100% that if you can put him somewhere that he can sit a year and just kind of learn the system and learn to be a professional, I think he can flourish. I think Trey Lance is a great player. I know Brandon hates me saying that, but I think
you don't like Trey Lance,
Brandon?
It's not that I don't like Trey Lance. I just don't know if I want the Eagles double dipping in the Bison pool.
Yeah. And so that's the question I get a lot of times. What is it about this guy that is Carson Wentz or is not Carson Wentz? And the thing I keep going back with my listeners and saying is like, look, okay, Carson Wentz was able to step in week 1 and flourish. Why? Why was that the case? Everybody talks about, you don't get to play against the same talent and whatever else, inferior talent pool. Bull. The Missouri Valley Conference, if you know anything about football, they get all the people that don't qualify academically for the Big Ten, and you got some top-tier talent there. Then you look at the offense for the Bison. It's as pro-complex as any offense in the entire college football landscape. There's a reason why Carson Wentz could step in and, play right off the bat. Now, his fundamentals, his footwork just got trash, man. I know I don't want to go off on Carson Wentz, but whatever. Trey Lance doesn't have those issues. Now, he might develop them in the pros, but it's weird. I think that he's so pro-ready.
Yeah.
He's not Trevor Lawrence. I prefer Trevor Lawrence by a mile. But if you're talking ceiling, I think Zach Wilson. That's the guy because he's so dangerous. And in this Mahomes kind of mindset where go get a quarterback that can do everything and can, score 21 points in 4 minutes, that's Zach Wilson. He does have some issues, torn labrum in his throwing shoulder. He throws weird, kind of Phillip Rivers-esque delivery. Struggled against good competition for sure his entire career. But, man, you turn those films, he's just dangerous. That dude goes for the throat every damn play. And so it's hard to get that mindset into a quarterback. But once it's in there, you could do so much stuff with it. And then Justin Fields. I like Justin Fields, but that offense, good God, the most quarterback-friendly place in the world. It's like he's playing 7-on-7 back there, and he got sacked 41 times. So there's some red flags, but the talent level, his talent is higher than everybody not named Trevor Lawrence. But I don't like the grooming. Don't like how he sticks to his reads, which he was allowed to do because they're so damn wide open all the time. I think that Justin Fields needs the longest time to sit, and his talent is great. 49ers got him. I would be thrilled, but I put him number 4 in those guys.
You know, I'm a Penn State fan, so I definitely hate Justin Fields. So I'm right there with you. See, my thing with the differences, and we could go hours talking about quarterbacks because I've been doing, so much research on these draft prospects, but like the difference between Trey Lance and Zach Wilson right now, I feel like we've seen Zach Wilson be bad. We've seen him not play well in college. Trey Lance only had that 1 year, so we've only really seen him be great. So it's really like who are we going to get? With Zach Wilson, you can see both sides of the quarter, if you will. You can kind of see when he wasn't the greatest, when he had the messed up shoulder and everything. And then, his junior year where he's absolutely amazing. I agree. I think that his talent on film is undeniable. A lot of people say, oh, he's the next Mitch Trubisky. Mitch Trubisky, I don't know how he made college football, in my opinion. He had a breakout year, an insane year, but and if you look at just the numbers, very comparable. And I understand the comparison. It's funny and it is very comparable, but this guy is real. Kyle Wilson is definitely real. Or Zach Wilson. I don't know why I said Kyle Wilson. But it is what it is. We'll see. Like I said, we could go hours on this. But so I want to ask you one last question before we get into the actual pick. So I want to go over the top 11 that have gotten picked. And I want to ask you, is there anybody on this list that you look at and you're like, damn, I was kind of hoping he would fall to me, or, I was hoping we would go grab him. So we have Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Devontae Smith, Justin Fields, Penei Sewell, Jamar Chase, Trey Lance, Patrick Surtain, Micah Parsons, Kyle Pitts, and then Jalen Waddle. Any of those names come out at you?
Yeah, there's a couple. I mean, I think obviously the top 4 quarterbacks for the 49ers are huge, as we discussed. But I think Penei Sewell is one of the generational type talents that, golly, man, talk about a perfect pairing with the Kyle Shanahan outside zone run, at Oregon there. That would be incredible. I don't think there's any way in hell he gets down to 12. So we'll throw that one out. The next one is Kyle Pitts. And I think that he might be a realistic option to fall. Now, we talked about the 49ers and their issues and the holes in their offense and defense. The 49ers have not been a best player available drafter since John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan have showed up. They're not. They do 2 things. They draft offense and defensive line, and they plug holes. You look at the year after they were in the Super Bowl. They lost 3 starters. DeForest Buckner, they traded. Emmanuel Sanders left to the Saints. And I forget who the third one I'm missing is. Oh, our left tackle. So what did we do? Those 3 holes. We only lost 3 starters. We draft Javon Kinlaw, first round. We trade up in the first round, draft Brandon Ayuk to replace Emmanuel Sanders. Then we trade to replace Joe Staley, who retired, with Trent Williams. We plug holes. Best player available. I get it. Twitter GMs love that terminology. 49ers don't believe in it. They don't do it. I think the only team that does it in the NFL is the Green Bay Packers, and that's why they drafted a damn backup quarterback, fullback, and running back that never played anything and wasted their entire freaking draft. So screw that biz. I don't want to hear it. So with Kyle Pitts playing next to George Kittle would be incredible. And a lot of people hear Kyle Pitts and think tight end. Delete that, man. This dude is a pass catcher. If he was a wide receiver, he'd be the 3rd best wide receiver in this draft, if not better. He is incredible and is a game changer. The 49ers do more 21 and 12 personnel than anybody else in the NFL. It would be a perfect fit, but it might be too much of a luxury pick. But if I saw it, I wouldn't be mad. You talk about helping Jimmy Garoppolo if you can't get a quarterback. Good Lord. George Kittle and Kyle Pitts. Whew, that's fun stuff.
So
Talk about Madden,
quick
man.
question, just because you were talking about how he can be a wide receiver. If you were, let's say, at the Eagles position at 6, and you have Pitts and Jamar Chase there, this has been kind of like an ongoing, a little bit of a battle between us Eagles fans. Who would you take at that spot if those were your two options?
Jamar Chase is the best wide receiver to come out of the draft in probably 4 to 5 years. He's that damn good. Film is a big deal, and we didn't get to see him this year. I get it. Go back and watch 2019 film, which, Justin Jefferson, the whole time I'm breaking down Justin Jefferson's film a year ago, I'm like, damn, Justin Jefferson's good. Who the hell is this kid? Because even though it's a Justin Jefferson highlight, he's making a touchdown catch, whatever, you'll see Jamar Chase off to the side just trashing the number one cornerback of every opposing team. Nobody put their number one corner on Justin Jefferson, and we know what he did in the NFL. Absolutely crazy rookie year. I'm telling you right now, if Jamar Chase came out last year, he would have been the first round in one of the deepest wide receiver classes we've had in a long time. Jamar Chase, he's top 3 talent, man. That kid is bananas. And I love Kyle Pitts, and he's a little bit different because of the positional value that he can put his hand in his ground at 6, he's 6'6". He can play regular tight end blocks decent. But Jamar Chase, absolutely perfect fit for you guys. I don't think there is anybody in this draft. You put everybody on the board, not named Trey Lance. Jamar Chase should be number 1 on your board this year.
Definitely. Yeah, I agree. I agree with everything except for the Trey Lance part. We better not have him as number 1 on our point. we better not. We better not.
Can't do it, man.
I would love the Pitts pick at your position at the 12 spot. For the Eagles, I agree with you 100%. I think you said it perfectly when you said he's probably the 3rd best wide receiver in this draft, because I've said it before, if Devontae Smith and Jamar Chase go, or whoever you want to say is that first wide receiver, I know a lot of different people have, different opinions, but if those two are gone, then I would probably look at Pitts next. But outside of that, I don't see him being that number 6 guy. I've mentally prepared myself for a quarterback, but I hope I'm wrong about that. It is what it is. So let's give the people what they want. We are here for the number 12 pick. So let me know why you're picking this person, and then obviously who you're going to be picking.
Have you guys let out who I selected? Have you guys already let that out? Okay, cool. Nope. Let's do some Quentin Tarantino. Let's mix this shit up. And let's page it up a little bit, baby.
Let's go.
So we've talked about the different areas of need for the 49ers. Edge rusher. Gosh, man, making that defense perfect. There's lots of edge guys. Everybody's there. Kwity Paye, probably the number 1 edge rusher in this draft. You got Gregory Rousseau, whose ceiling out of Miami is bananas. Took off the last year with COVID concerns and all those things. He opted out. But you talk about height or ceiling from an edge rusher, he has it in spades. But the best speed rusher is Aziz Ogilari out of Georgia. Now, he probably isn't one of the best or top edge players. He's a situational pass rusher at best. Never had more than 52% of snaps in a game. So he is that perfect, D Ford replacement, but is 12 where he should go. If I could have traded back, I think that's what I would have done, but we're not doing trades at this mock. But I'm telling you, highlight that Aziz Ogilari name because that is the perfect fit in this defense. Now, offensively, man, Penei Sewell's gone. I'm assuming the 49ers sign Trent Williams. We don't have that luxury of knowing what's going on now. I'm telling you right now, if we do not sign Trent Williams, Rashawn Slater from Northwestern is a perfect fit. You could slide him into right guard. Even if you do draft Trent Williams, he'd be a hell of a pick. Slide him into right guard, and he could play both tackle spots as well. If he's gone, which I think Rashawn Slater is going to fly up draft boards, I think he's a top 10 kind of guy because of his versatility, so dominant. Christian Darrisaw out of Virginia Tech is another guy. Didn't give up 1 sack or quarterback hit this entire year. Even though it was a short year, it still counts. Hell of a player. But that's not where I'm going. I got to go with my board and a position of need. They match up. Patrick Surtain's already gone. And I like Patrick Surtain, but he's my number 3 corner this year. My issue with, and again, it's scheme specific, and the 49ers is a little bit different than what the Eagles do. The 49ers do that, Seattle cover 3 defense where the corner has to run deep. The one flag, and there's only one with Patrick Surtain, is top end speed. The only place that he's been susceptible in game film is the deep ball. And so that's problematic in our scheme. I would still love to have that kid on our team at number 12. Wouldn't bat an eye. I'd love it. I'd buy the jersey, whatever else. But the number one corner on my board, I don't care about scheme, whatever. When I'm looking at corners, I want speed. I think it's the most important position on the field where 40 matters. And this kid has it in spades. I want ball skills, and I want aggressiveness. If you give me a corner in the first round, I want interceptions and tip balls. That's what I want. I'm going with my pick at number 12, Virginia Tech cornerback Caleb Fairley. Love this kid. 6'2", big old boy, the best ball skills in this draft, and it's not even close. He's only played corner for 2 years, ladies and gents. He was a quarterback, then a wide receiver. He's used to having the balls in his hand. He is phenomenal. Daniel Jeremiah just came out with his top 5. He had Caleb Fairley number 5. I thought I was drunk on this kid because everybody kept telling me I was too high on him. I respect Daniel Jeremiah. I think he does hell of a really, really good work. I love Caleb Fairley. If he's there at 12 and the 4 quarterbacks are gone, I think it's a no-brainer.
Ooh, it's crazy. I knew who you were going to pick, and I'm sitting here like, who is he going to get? Who is he going to take? I was so into it, man. Hey, man, I'm Caleb Farley. Now, was it, I don't know if you told Brandon or Brandon told me, I forget who told me this, but a 4.240, what was that about?
Yeah,
who told me about that?
Go ahead, Brandon.
No, I only saw, I believe it was on Instagram. It was on like one of his videos or something, Instagram or Twitter, one of the two. I follow him, and I saw how he posted it. It was an unofficial time.
And this is the year. This sucks, man. No, we don't get a scouting combine. And so you're going to have 50 4.2s this year. So just understand that. You're going to have offensive linemen saying 4.4, whatever. It's total BS. But the tape does not lie. And you watch this kid, again, only 2 years as a starter, and he took off in 2020. He opted out because he was so high up the thing. He is a track stud. And so whenever you watch him, there is zero separation on deep ball in any game he has ever played in. He does not give up separation deep. Again, back to Surtain. Again, what does one bring that the other doesn't? I think Surtain's a much better corner now. If you're asking me who's going to be the better 2020 player or 2021 player, it's Surtain. He's coached by Nick Saban. He's played his entire career. His dad was a pro. He's elite, but his ceiling is lower because of that top end speed. Another corner I'd throw out there is J.C. Horn from South Carolina, Joe Horn's son from the Saints. Hell of a player, the most physical corner in this draft. His top end speed is great as well. He doesn't like to tackle too much. I think that's problematic in the 49ers defense, but he does have a couple big hits. But man, you'll see him make some business decisions a little too often for my liking. But any of those 3 guys, I think they're all first round corners. I'd be happy with the 49ers taking either 3 of those guys at 12.
Yeah, speed kills, man. Speed definitely kills. You definitely need speed. And Caleb Farley's not a small guy. That's a really good pick. I like that a lot. I think he definitely has high upside. And in a system like yours, I think you can maximize his potential. Right. I feel like what you said was very true. You know what I'm saying? When you were like different schemes, so you kind of have Patrick Surtain somewhere different than we probably would. Just because you're right. You know, you guys can utilize him. We need someone that's going to just be a plug and play at this point. We don't necessarily know what our scheme is going to be. So we kind of need that guy that we know no matter what it's going to be, you're going to be at least good. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. That's interesting. That's interesting. What do you think, Brandon?
No, I mean, one thing I respect the most is when you're saying, like, you got to watch the film. We're not going to get the regular combine. But even so, that 40-yard speed and football speed are just 2 different animals. You got to watch the film. You can't just only pay attention to those, like you said, 40 times. Because this year you're going to get a bunch of people saying, this is my 40 time. This is my 40 time. So just watching the film is super important. And just like you said, top end speed at the top, especially for a cover 3 type corner, or if that's the scheme you're running, you got to be able to cover that whole side of the field and get deep fast. So I respect that pick. That's a good pick.
Yeah, I ran a 4.2 last week. So
that's what I'm talking about, man. It's unofficial. It's unofficial. It was a 10-yard dash, but it still counts.
It was a solid 4.2. I'm pretty proud of it. We're gonna have the scouts knocking my door down now. So, but all right. So Caleb Farley, man, that was a lot of fun, man. like I said, I knew who you were gonna pick, and now I know who the Chargers are gonna pick too. Like they didn't tell me, but I'm pretty sure I know who they're.
I'm excited about this, man. I gotta hit my alert button because I'm curious. The mock draft time is so fun, man. It's just a blast.
Yeah,
it's been so. I don't want to say hard. It's been tough getting creators. Like meeting new people has been a lot of fun, but it's tough to schedule it. But this, I feel like, is without doing trades, this is probably going to be the closest that I feel like the draft is going to go. Like I'm pretty confident with the top 10 because I feel like we know what our team's looking at. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that's why I started this whole draft series. So it's been a lot of fun getting to meet a lot of great creators like yourself. So I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Anything you want to say before you get out of here, man?
Yeah, man. Just if you're a football fan, hit me up on Twitter. I love talking through this stuff. We do so many mock drafts and trades and go through all this stuff. And again, if you're wanting to get into game film, one of the hardest things to do, especially with these corners and safeties, how do you get scout film? It's not out there. And if you watch the broadcast feed on YouTube or whatever else, you don't get to watch safety play. They're not even in the frame. So if you want access to those things, that's kind of why I got started with the Patreon thing. Because again, I can share my stuff without getting in trouble with the NFL, but I can't just give it to everybody, which is kind of a weird thing. NFL's always, they're punks. I love them, but I hate them. So if you want to get access to those things, again, go to patreon.com, 49ers Rush Podcast. It's not just 49ers, it's mostly draft stuff. And man, I can't wait for the draft. And man, if you guys want somebody on afterwards to talk some of the Eagles picks, especially some of those 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th round guys, undrafted free agents, hit me up. I'd love to come back on. The deep guys are my passion. The 7th rounder, 6th rounder, that's where it gets fun. And so excited for you guys. And I hate to say it, man, I'm pulling for the Eagles. I hate the Dallas Cowboys with everything that I believe in. So fly Eagles, fly, baby.
That's my guy. Hey, you just a man after my own heart. Look at that. You just won me over right there.
I was born and raised in Dallas, man. And so the big reason why I became a 49ers fan is I had an a-hole stepdad, and I made him buy me a Jerry Rice jersey for my birthday just to piss him off, and it just stuck. And so here we are, man.
That's how I became an Eagles fan. My dad was my whole family a Giants fan, so I was like, "Oh no, I'm not. I can't do it. Nope, I'm gonna be Eagles fan." Just stuck. It just stuck. Yeah, we got to do this again. Maybe even closer to the draft. Just go over some of these because you definitely know what you're talking about, and that's definitely right. I love definitely talking to. We usually only do like 25 minutes. Yeah, we.
There we go, man.
But I was like,
sorry
this
about
is
that,
a good conversation. Like, I love that. No, I love it. But I do have all your links in the description. Shoot me over the Patreon, and I'll put that in the description as well, because I'm sure a lot of people would love to join that because, we are, like I said, we're trying to build a community that knows their football. So I'm sure a lot of people would love to see that. But so at number 12, Caleb Farley is headed to San Fran. He's going to the Hild city or state or whatever the heck San Fran is. It's getting too late, man. I don't have enough coffee today. It is what it is. But I appreciate everybody that chilled. Make sure to go check all the links in the description. Be sure to hit that like, share, subscribe. We'll probably see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we have Jimmy Morrissey coming on from Pittsburgh. So that should be a lot of fun. But yeah, other than that, man, y'all know what it is. It is Fly Eagles Fly, and we are out here. Peace.